Hi, everybody. Good evening. Happy Thursday. Let's see. Come on, exhale. Hey, Epic Movement. You made it in time today. What happened? You made it in time today. Come on in. Inka Taiwo Ekale. Good evening. Good evening. Hi, everybody. I think I'm yet to start my. Am I start? Okay, I'm starting on Facebook and YouTube. Hi, everyone. I'm doing well. I was asking, hello, Mr. Sanctuary. How are you? Epic Movements. I was asking the other day what you did for your birthday. I don't think I ever got a response. I mean, it's like 200 years ago now, but hello, Mr. Obioma. How are you? Were you able to finally get in touch with? Hold on one second. I can't see what you wrote. Give me 1 second. See, this is what happens when you make fun of your mother using glasses, and then now you can't even see anything else. Okay, here we are. Nothing. Oh no, you told. I think you said that worked. Yeah. No, I don't think you said that. I think we were planning what you were going to do, and you're like, I was going to be working on, like, yeah, mix two of us or something like that. But anyway, happy Thursday, Mr. Professor. How are you? Come on in, say hello. Come on in, say hello. Come on in, say hello. Hi, everybody. Oh, let's see. I was trying to see something. Yeah, okay, let me see. Anyway, okay, I'll take care of that there. So something true regarding naturalization effective 27 about residency. What did you see? We're going to talk about what was it that you saw? We're going to talk about updates. Let me see if it's part of what I have listed to talk about. What was it that you saw? Yes, welcome to the most positive immigration space on social platforms, safest space to celebrate immigration victories and ask questions about new policies. I was trying to get something for someone before I came, so that had me distracted a little bit. But anyway, welcome in everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you've had a wonderful week so far. Let me put this up a little bit more. This is Attorney Abisala. Hey, it's Khadija. How are you? This is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 Samuel. I put my father's name there. Immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. I'm smiling because someone was asking me something before I came on. But anyway, our contact information is 334-341-4475 about residency in the States. What residency? What state? I mean, as you know, there's a whole lot going on, but residency has always been a requirement. So, what residency? What's 40 to me? Let me know what it is. 334-341-4475. That is our contact information. Contact number: info@olalayalawfirm.com. Contact email, and you can also send us a text on WhatsApp. Same. At Olalay Immigration, WhatsApp, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, at Olalay Immigration to contact us. Now, I know my assistant was telling me earlier today that people said, we take time to respond to messages on social media. So let me clarify some things for those who may be using social media to contact us. The best way to contact us is to call our office or to send a message to us on WhatsApp. Lydia is the person who takes care of our WhatsApp, and she is on, because that's what she's contracted for, to be there 24/7 for the most part. Obviously, she's got a life, but in the sense of if it's too late, like if it's midnight at 2 a.m., no one's going to respond to you because everybody's got a life. But it doesn't matter. Let me take that back. Not 24/7, every day of the week. But obviously, it will be during normal hours. So WhatsApp, that's going to be responded to, regardless of every day we check that. Facebook and Facebook, YouTube, TikTok and then YouTube. We do not do messages on those two platforms. YouTube and TikTok, we don't. We just don't. That's it. And you actually get, if you, for instance, if you contact us on TikTok, you will get an automatic response saying that no, what this is not being responded to. If you want to contact us on social media, contact us through Instagram or WhatsApp. Now, Facebook, we try to get to that at least, we check those emails at least three days, just like my emails or those messages. So the best way to contact us, because that's one thing that one of my pet peeves is communication. It is a big deal for me to make sure that clients and or potential clients are contacted as quickly as possible. But we also have to have a system in place that works for our business so that we are efficient and effective. So if you need to contact us as quickly as possible, call us during our normal business hours, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Alabama Central Standard Time. We are closed from 12 noon to 1 p.m. for lunch because we got to eat and fuel our buddies. We're not open on the weekends. Weekends, usually it's Lydia who takes care of WhatsApp messages. So WhatsApp is going to be your best bet on the weekends. Well, any day of the week, you can send a text on WhatsApp. We are very, very good with making sure we respond. So that's what our system comprises of. And so it would just depend on where you are contacting us on, what platform. And you have to understand, I think for every platform, we have auto responses to let you know what our system is for that a specific platform. So, I'm not going to command without any reason. Do you understand? But anyway, thank you for your understanding and working with us. But when in doubt, just call. When in doubt, just send a text message, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. So once again, at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓 Immigration, WhatsApp, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We'll be glad to represent you in an immigration case, because y'all know every single day is always something. It's always something. But let's talk immigration. And our contact number is 334-341-4475. All right. What are we talking about tonight? Time. And if you are just joining us for the first time, she is thorough about communication. I can attest. Thank you. And thank you. I mean, we try. I think one of our clients who has his green card now was a 204C case. I think one of the things that really shocked him was he sent me an email. My brain works best at night. I don't know why. It's just what it is. During the day, there's a whole lot. Like I already say, I'm a full-time mom, and in my spare time, I practice law. Because during the day, especially during the school year, I cater to my little boss, aka TJ. Everybody knows, right? And so when everything is quiet now, he's not a baby, but that's just my main focus as far as making sure that he's settled and all that. And I get work done. Don't get me wrong. But when everything is settled down, my brain just works the best at night. So sometimes you are going to get an email from me at 2 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, you don't have to be up to read it. You can, you get up in the morning and just see your emails just like anybody does. But he was really shocked. Like, this lawyer and send email into something. I'm like, yeah. Because what continues? So, and once I get on the case, I'm like, okay, for instance, I called someone at about 7:40, just shortly Friday, 7:45 p.m. or something. It's just like, are you still at work? I'm not at work. I'm working from home, but I needed to make sure that I get that information from you because I'm reviewing your file. Exactly, boss baby. So that's one of my pet peeves. Now if you send me repetitive emails, like, because my email says I respond to emails within 2 hours. If you send me like 200 emails within 10 minutes, you ain't gonna get any response, because it's just, that's how it is. But anyway, we try to make sure that, because I always put myself in people's shoes, and I want to be treated the way that I would want to be treated, is the way that I make sure. I've been known to fire people for not responding to emails, and that's just what it is. It is what it is. You got to have to set a standard and your system, and nobody's perfect. We try. We drop the ball from time to time. It is what it is because we're human, but we try. And so we'll be glad to represent you as well. So come on in. If you've got questions, put it in the comment section. I will try to get to as many questions as possible. But let's talk immigration. So what do we have for tonight? Time for immigration updates. Y'all know there's always something with this administration. Like you blink once, not even twice. Blink once and there's something new. Blink twice and the whole system has changed. So let's get to it. Okay. And let's know where you're joining in from, what state, what city, what country you're joining us from. Please do not repeat your question. So if you're just putting your question in the comment section, just leave it as just one. If you repeat it, it's going to be skipped. What are the updates that we're dealing with? Let's start with visa vetting. So as if they don't have enough to do with this administration, they've decided that they're going to vet about 55 million visas that have been issued to immigrants from all over the world. In this, their ploy of trying to get, people who are anti-American, anti-Semitic, vetting you through your social media platforms, vetting people who have overstayed, that's part of what they've now decided they're going to be doing. Now, most people have already been vetted before at the time you're being issued the visa. And that's why sometimes you may be in the United States and you may get an email or an alert saying, hey, information came to us after we had issued you your non-immigrant visa, whatever the case may be. And so based on that, we are revoking your visa. Keep in mind that a visa stamp is different from an authorized stay. So a visa stamp is what allows you to gain entry into the country. So you're coming from another country, you want to present yourself for admission at the port of entry, you're going to need a visa stamp. There are some countries that are visa exempt, obviously, but I'm talking about countries where you need a visa stamp. And because some countries are visa exempt for specific kind of non-immigrant visas, not every kind. So if you present yourself, the visa stamp is what allows you present that's the entry document, and CBP exercises discretion to allow you to come in. When you come into the country, say for instance, you come in on the B1, B2 visitor visa, the visa stamp itself is what allows you to gain entry. What allows you to stay in the country is the validity period of your I-94. So if you're given a 6 months period of your I-94, even if you've got a 5-year visa, you cannot come into the country and stay for the 5-year period because your visa is valid for 5 years. You can only stay for that specific visit for that 6 months that the CBP has stamped for, and you can go on the DOS website to get a copy of your I-94 that tells you exactly what dates you're allowed to stay in. So if you get a notification saying we revoked your visa, it doesn't revoke your authorized stay in the country, but it revokes that particular visa. So when you leave the country, you're not going to be able to use that visa anymore because the DOS has not decided they've revoked it. So you're going to have to reapply for another visa or the same visa or a different kind of visa. So they are taking their sweet time. They want to take on about 55 million visas that have been issued to different people based on trying to secure the borders and protect the American citizens. But like I said, most people have already gone through the vetting process, even by the time you're getting your visas approved for you. So how that's going to play out, we're just going to have to wait to see, because we just have to wait to see what's going on with this administration. So that's that on that. Then we are talking about background neighborhood checks, background checks, neighborhood checks when it comes to application for naturalization. Now, good moral character is one of the requirements for naturalization. If you lack good moral character, you're not going to get your. And shout out to Mr. Devor. So Mr. Devor, if you're watching, congratulations. We started the journey together with him. We are in 2025. 2022, he's in almost 10 years of doing immigration practice. His 2-year green card was one of the ones that had the shortest processing time. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think his green card was approved, I want to say either 2 months or 4 months, his 2-year green card then. And it was just, he and his wife were just the sweetest people to represent. And so the repeat client came back to us in 2024, yeah, last year, to file the 10-year green card 751. It was still pending. And then this year, April, we filed his N400 application, because now he's 3 years and it's still pending. And that's one of the things you can do to fast track your I-751. 751 is still pending, so we decided let's do the N400 based on marital union, because it's now 3 years since he's got his green card. And so we submitted that end of April, and he was scheduled for an interview today. But so we're seeing, and this is good, and that's another reason why you file your N400. We're seeing field offices actually send interview notice if you've got a pending I-751 and then you file an N400. We're seeing them sending interview notice that would contain both your I-751 and N400 on the interview notice. So it would have both numbers, and it would specifically say that your N400 and I-751. So that's what they did for him. So combo interview, nothing like it. Anyway, long story short, both cases were approved today. So he's going to be scheduled for oath ceremony. And when that happens, USCIS will approve your I-751. But since they are also going to approve your N400, you're not going to get the 10-year green card, since you're now going to be scheduled and sworn in as a citizen. So, Mr. Debo, thank you for trusting us through the whole process since 2022 that we started the process with you. I'm glad to be part of your journey, for your immigration journey, every step of the way. And to Miss Kira as well, his wife, it's been a pleasure. I'm telling you, there's some. I love all my clients. Don't get me wrong. Emani Asisle and she favoritism, yes, and the model paiwa. But there's some people it just really, really, they're just a joy to work with. They don't stress you at all. If anything, I think I actually reach out to him more than he reaches out to me. But they are like, they bicker like old couples. Like it's like, we're prepping yesterday. Like, you see, this is the energy I needed to bring today. But congratulations, really, really happy. And we got the notification almost within an hour after the interview that both cases were approved. So God is just faithful. And he has referred, God knows. The funny thing is, he's referred so many people to me, his sister, his best friend, and so all the people that he's referred to me, funny, every one of them got their green cards and or citizenship before him. But obviously he had to wait his time. So I know when Jacob went on, like, okay, now it's my turn. So finally, out of that whole group, it's good to just know that he is on his way to becoming a citizen. So congratulations. But anyway, okay. So talking about citizenship, one of the things you have to do in citizenship is good moral character. You must be someone of good moral character. You're paying your taxes, and that's one of the things we talked about yesterday with him. They're going to ask you for your taxes because you giving back to Uncle Sam what belongs to Uncle Sam. Anyway, don't even get me started on that one. But not only so, now USCIS is not going to even add to the requirements as far as the naturalization would. Normally, it would be a case of when you pay your taxes, you don't have any criminal records that's going to disqualify you from becoming a citizen. But they're going to be including additional requirements now. They will require you to they're going to consider your involvement in your community. Are you involved in charitable organizations? And in addition to that, they're going to be doing neighborhood checks. What you say? What the heck does that mean? Now, funny thing about neighborhood checks is this: it's not anything new. If anything, it's actually in the Immigration and Nationality Act, but it's being a requirement that's been waived for at least the last 3 decades. They've just decided to do FBI background check, and as long as you don't have any disqualifying criminal record or something. But this administration has decided they're bringing it back. And so what is that going to look like? Basically, you got to now make sure that your neighbors like you. táwọn labours yìí ò bá like yín, that's gonna tá bá ti bá àwọn neighbors yín jà, ẹ lọ bá wọn, ẹ lọ make up, because they will now conduct an investigation where they can interview your neighbors, they can interview your employers, former employers, co-workers, former co-workers. They can ask you to bring letters from your pastor, from your imam, people who can attest to your character, in addition to the criminal background checks and all that. So it's going to be now, and there's also a proposal to make the citizenship test itself much harder. That's what they did during their first term. So it looks like that's going to be back again. So it's because they feel like it's a privilege, and it is a privilege to become a citizen, but they feel like it's too easy to become a citizen. So that's what is going you should expect. Now, filing locations for some applications have changed. There wasn't a normally USCIS would send emails, make an announcement and all that, or put it on their website, the filing locations for the specific forms and all that. Now they're doing some forms that really are not that very popular forms, right? But filing locations have changed. If you have a VAWA case, for instance, that's just practice for me. And I always tell my paralegals, that's one of the things that I always get on them for, that if we are sending something, I don't care if we do it on a daily basis, like we do VAWA, we do H-1B and all that. Everyone needs to make sure they're going back to check what the current, and make sure that they're verifying the filing location for that specific form before we send it out. And so because we try to do that on a routine basis, come to find out that USCIS has actually updated the filing locations of some of VAWA-related cases. So say, for instance, if you are filing an I-485 green card application and work authorization based on an I-360, or concurrently with an I-360, then you're still sending it to Nebraska Service Center. But if you're filing, for instance, a renewal of your work authorization that is based on your I-485 or C9, based on an I-485, so renewal, so means you already have an I-485 that's pending, and now you want to renew your work authorization, which they're all tied with the VAWA case. They have now created separate filing locations for humanitarian cases, VAWA, U visa, T visa, now in Chicago rather than Nebraska. So best practice is because if you mail, and now there's a grace period up until I think September 21st, but it's on the form page. They just didn't put in an announcement because they obviously want people to just miss that. It is what it is. So best practice is, before you mail anything out, go ahead and confirm the filing location for what you want to file. And so that reminds me about this. One second, people. I always remember stuff and I'm like, oh, I gotta do this. Okay, so confirm before you send it out, so you're not wasting your time. There's a whole lot of delays with VAWA cases already. So the last thing you need to do is to delay even much more, and then they have to send anything back to you. So just that's another update. So we've talked about vetting of the visas that have been issued to immigrants all over the world. We're talking about neighborhood checks for naturalization and the additional requirements for good moral character. Filing locations for a certain immigration forms to include specifically humanitarian applications. Let's see. Immigration court. So since they've succeeded in firing quite a number of judges from immigration court, now there are millions of cases pending before the immigration court, but understaffed courts, because they keep firing. If a judge doesn't align with the agenda, that judge gets fired. So what have they decided? The Department of Justice, in their brilliant minds, have decided that they will now, that normally ER has always utilized temporary judges to move cases and to help with permanent judges who are hired on a permanent basis. But it's always been, and let me pull it up. So it's always been that judges have had to go back here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I don't want to give you wrong information. All right, there we go. All right. So temporary judges, from time to time, they hire them to ease the backlogs of cases and all that. And temporary judges have always, obviously, permanent judges, nothing has changed as far as the requirement for those who are hired on a permanent basis. But for temporary judges, they have been required to be either retired and or former immigration judges, or EOIR administrative law judges, or practicing attorneys who have at least 10 years experience in the field of immigration law. That's always been the standard requirement. However, because they are short-staffed, they can't find, and they keep firing the judges that know what they're doing because they're just not doing what they want them to do. The Department of Justice has decided to relax the rule regarding temporary immigration judges, and they will now hire people who do not have any immigration law experience to preside over immigration court cases. That's scary as it can be. It's akin to hiring a physician and saying, "Hey, by the way, you went to med school, so you're smart, and I can't find a lawyer for the life of me, and I have a murder trial tomorrow morning. I want you to come represent me and just use your smartness and get through it." That's basically what it's about. So they don't need the temporary judges would not be required to have any immigration law experience. So it's going to be kind of like a training on the job. So you get a doctor to come to the courthouse and say, "Hey, by the way, what does this statute say? What does it mean?" How that's going to play out, we'll just have to wait to see. But God help us all. Okay, so that's that. And then the final update I want you guys to know for today. So let's see, judges, filing vacations, neighborhood checks, vetting. Okay, reciprocity schedule. So, for instance, they have taken down, and by they, this administration, Department of State. So, reciprocity schedule is a tool that is used to is a guide where you know what your specific country's requirement is for specific documents. So if you go on DOS and if you just put DOS reciprocity schedule, it will take you to the DOS website. And for each country, if you click on Nigeria, for instance, it will take you to the different requirements for divorce certificates, birth certificates, death certificates, whatever the case may be, right? And it also would give you the full explanation of what is required. Like, for instance, what is the process for getting a customary divorce? What is the process of getting a statutory divorce? Where do you get it? What court has jurisdiction? What does that country say? It's always been that way, right? Now, if you put in reciprocity schedule, they've taken out a chunk of the information that is needed, and that has always been a guide, so that you know exactly what is needed for that specific document. And now it's going to be a game of a guessing game kind of thing. So I'll give an example. For Nigeria, because most of my clients are Nigerians, and if you go, it used to be that, for instance, if you went on the DOS website, you could have found very detailed explanation of what was required for customary marriage, how a customary marriage is dissolved, the option of dowry being returned, option of having a customary court, if you was a Muslim Islamic marriage, area courts in some places, like Kwara State has only area courts in place of Sharia court or in place of a magistrate court. It was very detailed. That was like just till about 2 weeks ago. Now, fast forward to now, if you go on the Department of State website and the reciprocity schedule for the same country, Nigeria, and just put in the information about how a customary marriage is dissolved, even is very confusing, because now they have affidavit of dissolution of marriage and claiming that you can get that from the high court, which is absolutely incorrect. But that's going to create so much confusion. And then the detailed explanation of customary marriages or customary being dissolved and dowry being returned and all that, that whole information has now been taken off. So you can't even get that on the current reciprocity schedule, just to create some kind of chaos. So we're probably going to see a situation where people may need to contact the Nigerian consulate to get information about, this is what our country requires and all that, because now they've taken most of that information off of the Department of State website. So we're just taking it a day at a time and just leaving it in the hands of our maker, knowing that he hasn't brought us to this foreign land. He said that he would protect the foreigners. So we shall be protected. So let's see. So that's about the updates we have tonight. Son, you plan to take a shower? Okay. Did you finish? Did you eat? Oh, Auntie Lamide, yeah, but our so far, Auntie Lamide, our igusi. So thank you for sending us igusi. Igusi means egusi. Because I'm not going to make. First of all, I don't know how to. That's my story I'm sticking to. I don't know how to make a goosey soup. Whether that's true or not, that's not for debate. I don't know how to make it. So if Auntie Lamide doesn't send it to him, he's not eating it. We're listening. We don't judge. If you want to judge, that's your business. But anyway, that's all the updates we have tonight, and that's all she wrote. All right, let's get to as many questions as possible. Questions, answers to questions are general in nature, nothing specific to anyone's case. Disclaimer, nothing specific to your case. Hello, Miss Christiana. How are you? Thank you for all you do. I can't stop loving you. Love you right back. I'm glad to have you back. Miss Christiana, how did it feel to travel outside the country? Nothing like it. Tell me how it felt. I got my clients back. What? Good evening. How are you? Hello, Michael. Good evening, Miss Lawyer. Thank you. Hello, Miss Joanna. How are you? Hello, Mr. Lale. No relation. I don't know if it's related to my ex-husband's people. But good to see you on here. Thank you for joining. In my opinion, they're vetting to reduce the number of Black and brown people entering the U.S. I mean, where's the lie? Where's the lie? But it is what it is. Is it true that they are issuing new? Let me put this. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me put this off, and then I'll put this on. Okay, I'll put it. Is it true that they're issuing new regulations to change F1 visa duration of status to a fixed period of time, along with reducing the grace period and prohibited first academic year transfer? It is true in the sense of it is a proposal, and that's one of the reasons I didn't bring it up tonight. It is still a proposal. It's not in place as of the time I was coming on. It's not in place yet. So it's a proposal. The rationale behind it is allowing F1 visa holders to just be a duration of status, and then giving them the opportunity to not have to file for reinstatement and all that. With that, it doesn't allow them to be vetted from time to time. So what they want to do is the proposal, for instance, one of the things they're proposing is if you've got like a 4-year academic program for like a bachelor's degree or something, then they're going to cap your I-94 for that 4-year period. If you need to now, go to have a master's degree or PhD, then you've got to reapply for an extension and all that, and then your I-94 can now be extended. So it's not going to be a case of you're just getting an I-20 and you're just moving along the school the academic industry and just going from one school to another. Now, so that's part of what they want to do in the sense of being able to vet non-immigrant visa holders. So it is true in the sense of it is a proposal, but whether or not, when that's going to kick in, we'll just wait to see. Yeah. Okay. My wife has a felony. Will that affect my change of status? You mean adjustment of status? You're not changing status as someone who's trying to get a green card. What we're seeing is, well, it depends. If it's something that has to do with Adam Walsh offense, meaning a sexual offense against minor, against children, then it can. If it's not, USCI still has discretion, which is what we're seeing, to decide whether or not, based on the petitioner's criminal record, they're going to approve the case. And hopefully she doesn't have an outstanding warrant, because if she does, it's not going to be, we're seeing them actually arrest petitioners during the interview based on outstanding warrant, based on failure to pay maybe a previous court fine. And then that's going to be the end of your interview. It's probably going to lead to a denial, so that they now can give you a notice to European Immigration Court. And in saying that, let me say this as well. For instance, those who have, and since you have F1, you usually would have that 60-day grace period to be able to, change status, or if you're done with school, to start another school, because you're at 94 is still duration of status. Those who are on H-1B visas, for instance, it used to be also that you get, for instance, you get terminated from your employment, you have, and before the end of your H-1B period that your employer filed for you, and then you get a 60-day grace period, right? That used to be, and you can change your status, get another employer, leave the country, whatever the case may be, but you wouldn't have to worry about being issued a notice to European Immigration Court or anything like that. Now, the way they're exercising that discretion is, if an employer notifies USCIS that if they've terminated your employment, some people are actually getting, some people in the sense of H-1B employees are actually getting notices to European Immigration Court, albeit even during that 60-day grace period. So that's quite a bit that's changed. So just so you're aware of this constant changes that we're going through, but we'll live to see another day, God willing, one day at a time. Okay. I'm hungry, y'all. I'm about to. And shout out to my mama and sister-in-law. Y'all, just someone's like, sister-in-law, did they actually send you food from Massachusetts? Yes, they do. And yes, they do. Shut up when you pay. I want fetching money. Shut up when you pay. I want to want Latin. So they're not complaining. So let's leave it alone. Some people love cooking, and that's great. I remember when I dated someone, and I was telling, and I was like, I love eating, and all that. Like, do you love cooking as much as you love eating? Because if you're expecting me to cook, you're going to be hungry for the rest of your life. Let's just say that was not a second date, because I'm at a stage in my life where there's no point trying to, we ain't going to sugarcoat nothing. Let's know what's happening. Let's know who's going to be hungry every single day if they don't cook for themselves. Because not doing it. Just not doing it. We're listening, we don't judge. Exactly. Not doing it. As it's like, you're Americanized. No, it's not Americanized. I never liked cooking. My mother would tell you. I never enjoyed it. Like, if Nigeria came with them, I'll say, everyone in my family was afraid of my cooking, because I didn't kill anybody, but so let's just leave it alone. Well, it is what it is. I'm just saying, I only cook for my kids because I don't want children's services to come get me. That's all. I'm waiting for my marriage interfaith decision for 45 days. Is it normal? It's not abnormal. We're seeing quite a bit of delays. Let's see. Okay. Can I win in court if my spouse didn't write didn't write withdrawal on I-130. That's not a question I can answer. There's not I know nothing about your case. You want to sit down with the lawyer to discuss your case. Thank you, Ms. Mackey. I saw your email. I'm going to respond. I think I saw you yesterday out of all my 2,200 million emails. But yeah, so just bear with me. Oh, I just said it. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's go through that. No, it's not. It's not being American. It's just because I just don't care to cook. I don't. You're going to be very hungry. Now, when I decide to cook, I actually do really. I mean, do I know how to cook? Yeah. Is this something I wake up and say, hey, I'm excited to do it now? I was talking to my mom yesterday. Yeah, but I get like that. So I think we're talking about. Okay, I was talking about because my sister-in-law made catfish, and I was like, oh, that is really good. And I was like, I really want to have a wedu with it. And I was like, but I can't. But I just don't want to stress myself. My mom was like, you can do it in the microwave. Like, if I can do it in the microwave, then that's fine. If it cannot be done in the microwave, let's leave it alone. Let's leave it alone. Based on your post, I said I think I need to start the for because if I have to rely on neighbors. Epic moments. You're scared of what your neighbors will say. Listen. It's effective immediately though, so they still may have to. They get to ask your neighbors like, what is he like? So just make up with your neighbors. Y'all just need to be nice to your neighbors until you become a citizen. That's all. It's not that hard. About residency in the States. So, Ms. Ellen Sanctuary, the thing about residency in the States has always been, I'm not sure if that's the same thing you're talking about, but as far as being able to establish that you've been a resident for at least 90 days before the time you file for your citizenship, is that what you're talking about? Because that's always been the law. Epic, really, let's get you your citizenship now. I was watching those heels. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't respect myself today. So yeah, I decided to wear 5-inch heels today. Sometimes you just looking great today. Thank you. Sometimes you just wake up and you feel like you just want to disrespect yourself. That's what happened today. Because it's like, I'm just like, okay, unless your friend. Like, I'm feeling very, because which is what I'm still wearing. I wore bodysuit and capri pants. I was like, oh, I feel like wearing heels. And I was like, ask me how long it lasted for. My assistant was over make me laugh so hard today. Ashanti, she was like, I said, whoa. She said, you're way taller than I am. To like, girl. But when my feet and it's like, and then my knees was like, we're doing this. Not today. Abisola, Konshin. Not today. Let's just say, but you have some shoes like you look like I really want to wear the shoes like yeah, but thank God that I keep flats in my car. I have one that you can ball it up in my purse. I've respected myself. Maybe in place of neighbors, they would contact employers. So they can contact your employer. You can contact your neighbors, your coworkers, and they can contact all of them. So what we're going to be doing is those one of the cases we got retained for today in N400, and that's when I told the client, like, we are going to start including letters from pastors, letters from neighbors, from your employer, just so that we already have that. If that can help to not prolong your case and anticipate that's something they're going to need anyway, why not? Let's just get it done. So that's what you should expect now. For those who had a child with somebody else during the course of your marriage, even if you're not filing based on marital union, right? You're filing based on 5 years, but the good mark character period, you remember, if you're filing based on 5 years, is a 5-year period. And they see that you had a child with somebody else that was not the spouse you were married to, that you got the green card through. And the joke for lawyer to file. And if you filed and your interview is coming up, you've gotten, because now there's some things you can say, ways you can explain it depending on when the child was born, whether you're a dad or a mom. Obviously, if you're a mom, you can't deny that's your child because you carry the child. But what was going on in the marriage, there's quite a bit of, just know that is in an area that USCIS is not focusing on, and you want to be on your A game if that applies to you. So, I mean, if you're thinking of not mentioning that child, that's going to be a bigger problem for you, because there is no information. Even if that child does not have a father listed, that is public record. USCIS has access to any record in any state. If they can subpoena your personal records from your employer, let alone state records like birth certificates and all that. So hiding that child or not listing that child is not an option, because then you're going to definitely guarantee a denial of your case. Just to throw that in. Okay. Neighbors input on my N400. I thought I've seen it on. It's something. It's actually neighborhood check is actually a law, but it has not been used in 34 years, 35 years. So, but yeah, that's what we're seeing now. Imagine if your neighbor was just mad at you because you're just an immigrant. Can you imagine? Just because that is the reality of what we. So you can have a neighbor who just doesn't like you because you're from another country, because you've got an accent. So imagine going to ask a question. This is going to create so much discrimination, and well, we'll just see. I mean, what would they actually say about you if they don't care for you as an immigrant? Hello, Mr. Kelvin. How are you? You might be helping someone who has nowhere else to look for immigration advice. Thank you. This is true. So please share. We would appreciate that. I missed those 2 a.m. emails. Don't worry, Mr. Sanctuary. Less than 2 years. We'll be back on those emails. No chance to think at this point. Hello, Mr. Blaze. How are you? Alrighty, let's see. Auntie, you don't even love me like that. Oh. Like I said, I love all my clients. But you know how mothers have favorites? Yeah, that kind of thing. Okay. Mr. Kelvin, that's enough. Mr. Kelvin stressed me, Diego. Ain't gonna lie. But it was a joy. He's just fun. He's just a good man. And I pray God grants you that woman who's going to, because he's just, now is he a whole lot? Yes, a whole lot just like myself. But Mr. Kelvin's kids, yeah, Mr. Kelvin, that's true. Yeah, I started his kids with him into citizenship. Hello, finest Shandy. Hello, sister from another mother. Looks like they deleted the article on. Oh, okay. I was going to share it with you. But did it have to do with the requirement for residency like 3 months before? Halloween is coming. Make sure you treat your neighbors right. Be nice to your for real, y'all. Be nice to your neighbors though. What does it mean if USCI says your case has been processed? It's being processed. It's being processed. That's what I think. That's taking the place of we're actually reviewing your case nowadays. Do you get receipt notice for I-290B? Yes. Okay. Let's see. It's finished or what? Yeah, but I mean, like, what is finished or what? The goosey or what? No, you just sent us the goosey yesterday. It can't be finished now. It's not that serious. I have an approved I-130, but my I-45 is still pending for about 2 months. I also received a notice to appear for a master hearing for my asylum case I filed 10 years ago. What steps should I take? Sit down with a lawyer. Let's see. On the I-45, though, and that's something that they probably would not be able to approve because you are already in immigration court. So they probably will send your notice saying that they're going to administratively close your case until you're done with court. Okay. It didn't date before. It's not a bag. Give me everything to cook, and I'm glad this spent the entire. In the sanctuary, I wish I was living close by because I know I won't get hungry. But thank God for my mama and my sister-in-law because I just notify them before things run out. But I don't wish I cannot relate to you being happy to spend the entire day in the kitchen. I just cannot. I'd rather go pull my tooth. Now, can I spend a whole day reviewing files and drafting motions and writing briefs? Yes. That I do not cook too. Thank you. See, people like me. I think was like you can't deal with your neighbors. Those heels look great. The knees panic. The knees were like, auntie. Auntie, I respect that. But they're one of my favorite pairs of shoes ever. I think it's the cat the cat print on the heels that is just makes you feel very, very wild with yourself. But then my knees is like, no, not today. How long does it take to get a work permit after biometrics? USCIS.gov/processing times. What if you were still pregnant with a child when filing? So are you still pregnant with a child at the time you have the citizenship? I mean, if you're still pregnant with a child when you have your interview, that's great. I mean, the child is not here. You're just pregnant. You're pregnant. But if you're so for instance, I'll give an example. If you're filing based on 5 years, for instance, and you're already divorced from the person that you got your green card through, that divorce has been final. You got divorced before you got pregnant. Obviously, that is not someone you're not getting pregnant for someone else during the course of the marriage. Marriage has already ended. We're talking of you're still you were still in the marriage, or you were actively in the marriage, and then someone else is the father of your child, or another woman had a child for you, and now in a case where for instance, a man has a child during the course of the marriage by someone else, extramarital affairs is a big no-no when it comes to good moral character. But the way you can overcome that is if it is where you have proof that your spouse was aware, you've done marriage counseling, you've talked through, it wasn't something that ended up the marriage. It just depends. It's very case specific. So you'll just be better off evaluating your case before you have your interview. Hello, Mr. Gomiani, how are you? Okay. Yeah, Mama, we still have the food. You just sent us the food yesterday. Go later. I worked unauthorized. I filed through marriage based. How do I answer the question at the interview? You just said it. You just answered the question yourself. You worked without authorization. That's how you answer it. If you work without authorization or you overstay and you're married to a citizen, you don't get penalized for any of that. That doesn't create any kind of bar because you're exempt being the spouse of a citizen or a parent of a citizen or underage, immediate relatives, basically. Okay. Let's see. Thank you for all you do for immigrants. Thank you for always joining. I appreciate that as well. All right. Let's see if there's an additional. Okay, we got one 1 minute left. Okay. I need your help and advice. What did you need help with? Okay. My prima facie determination letter is already expired for 6 months. I have to do something I have to do something older. What? Okay, so they normally would automatically send you an extension. If they haven't sent you an extension, you can call USCIS and speak to somebody to ask them to request, send a message to the VAL office to send to you, or you can send them a message, send them a letter if you don't have an attorney in your case for your extension to be sent to you. Okay. All right, people. I think this video is going to be up on all platforms, so you can replay it or forward it to someone who may need to have that information. But see, the goal is to create panic amongst immigrants, and to make people afraid, so that people self-deport as they want and all that. But no one can change your destiny. No one can change what God has prepared, for you and me. Nobody can alter God's grace on your life. That's just nothing anyone can do. The enemy can do anything about that. But at the same time, you also have to be proactive with your cases. We're just seeing things that are just now. For instance, we had sent in a request to a field office, and normally when you're switching over from a 9130 to a VAW petition, you send in an abeyance request like, hey, we're in the process of filing for VAWA, and so we want you to hold this green card application in abeyance, and we'll let you know once we receive the receipt notice and all that. It's never been an issue, but we got notification that it was denied this evening, this morning rather. Denial notice was stating that because we requested to convert to a VAWA case, but we haven't shown any proof that we actually filed a VAWA case. Now, these people were given the abeyance letter to let them know what we're filing. The letter stated in bold red font that VAWA receipt notices are taking at least 3 months. And there's nothing myself or my client can do, because y'all are the ones in control of when we get the receipt notices. But we will let you know once it has been sent in, when we send you the tracking information. When we send it in, it was delivered within the 30-day period that the status requires. We send it to them like, hey, this is proof that it was delivered to them. But in the denial letter, they said, well, we haven't sent anything to show that that was actually delivered on the same day. So my point is, even though we can file a new I-485, then you have to worry about, okay, they're going to issue a notice to appear for the client and all that. But I see all that to say this. It's a whole lot going on. It's not just the immigrants, even attorneys representing immigrants and all that. But at the end of the day, we cannot let people who are also, here based on God's mercy and grace to steal our joy. We take it a day at a time. Do what you have to do to make sure your papers are in order. I always tell my clients, if you have your receipt notices, make sure you have something to show that you've got something pending. But all in all, at the end of the day, nobody can alter God's grace upon your life. No one can change what God has destined. Nobody. Thank you, Mr. Sanctuary. No one can change what God has destined for you. So if you need to talk to us about your case and have your case evaluated, we'll be glad to do that. Keep in mind that we ran a special for 30 minutes consultation for $115 this month. That ends on Sunday. It was just a birthday promotion, so you can still schedule, even though you're going to be scheduling for September. But that is as long as you schedule it before the end of August. So I will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.